Don't fall in love with a Libra unless you are ready to carry a love that rewrites all your past definitions of the word. Because once a Libra enters your life, they change the gravity of everything. Suddenly, there are new standards, unspoken but deeply felt. They won't raise their voice to demand them, but they'll live in a way that makes you rise to meet them. Their love is silent gold, subtle, dazzling, impossible to forget. And even if you try to move on, nothing quite weighs the same after them. If you've ever loved someone who seemed to speak a language only your soul understood, you've glimpsed what it's like to love a Libra. And yet, this isn't a stormy passion that burns fast and leaves ash behind. No, theirs is a still flame, carefully tended, unshaken by petty winds. They won't provoke fights. They won't use silence as a weapon or your insecurities as leverage. Libras are builders of peace, of understanding, of bridges back to each other. They'll fold themselves small if it means you get to stand tall. Even when hurt, they choose grace. And that, more than anything, is what haunts you long after they're gone. Tell us your date of birth and zodiac sign in the comments. Because if you've ever fallen for a Libra, you already know. They don't just leave a mark, they shift the axis. There's something about the way they love that feels effortless until you try to replicate it with someone else and realize it was them all along. Libras will be the first good morning text and the last thing you think about before sleep. They'll make you laugh at inopportune times, mid-meeting, mid-meltdown, reminding you how to feel joy in the middle of everything. They'll be your calm in chaos, your clarity in confusion, the balance you never knew you craved. So go ahead, subscribe to Libra Whisper if you've ever been moved by someone like this or want to understand the mysteries behind the scales. They will always choose harmony, even if it comes at their own expense. You won't hear them speak badly of people, even those who've hurt them. Instead, they'll process in private, move on quietly, and wish you the best with a sincerity that almost hurts to witness. Their kindness doesn't come from naivety. It's a choice again and again to meet the world with softness. They've been bruised but not bitter, and when they love you, that softness becomes sanctuary. And when a Libra sees you, really sees you, it is like standing in front of a mirror that doesn't distort. They'll reflect your light back to you, even in moments you feel lost in your own shadow. They'll remind you of who you are at your core, not just who you've been lately. They accept all of it, the cracks, the past, the rough edges, and they'll never ask you to be anything but your whole self. There's power in that kind of acceptance. And it terrifies you, because you start to imagine a forever with them before you even meant to. Pause here. If this resonates, if you've known this kind of love or long for it, tap the like button. Let the algorithm know you believe in soft power and love that chooses peace. Libras don't just walk into your life, they arrive. With grace, with timing, with the quiet certainty of someone who's done the soul work. You won't notice the shift at first, but soon you'll realize you're comparing every new person to them. Every laugh, every touch, every conversation. They all echo a standard you didn't know you had until the Libra set it. They'll show up for you in ways you never asked for, anticipate needs you didn't voice, and do it all while juggling a world of their own. They're yes people in the purest sense. Not because they can't say no, but because they genuinely want to be there, to support, to make things easier for the people they love. You'll find them apologizing for being 5 minutes late, even though they're coming from an overwhelming day, carrying the weight of 100 other commitments. They don't want to let anyone down. And somehow, even with everything on their plate, they make you feel like you're the center of their world. And maybe that's what makes loving them feel like flying. But it's also what makes losing them feel like falling. Because once you trust them, and they trust you, there's a bond that's quietly unbreakable. No dramatic declarations, no need for theatrics, just a sense that they'll be there when it matters. And long after, you'll realize your timeline quietly split into two parts, life before them and life after. They are charm without arrogance, loyalty without possession, passion without chaos. They are the balance between intellect and emotion, between empathy and boundaries, though often they struggle to hold those lines for themselves. They see the good in people too easily, and while that makes them magnetic, it also makes them vulnerable. You'll notice them getting taken for granted. You'll see the warning signs in people they trust, and you'll want to shield them from all of it. But they won't understand why. They'll still believe in the best. So if you love a Libra, you must be the armor they forget to wear. And the truth is, they will terrify you. Not because they're unpredictable, but because they are dependable in a world that isn't. Because they will love you in a way that makes you question every excuse you've ever made for why love never worked before. Because they will become your home, the conversation that grounds you, the voice you look for when you're unraveling, the laugh you replay in your head just to feel okay. Even if it doesn't last forever, it will still feel like the most genuine love story of your life. The kind that makes you softer, the kind that teaches you how to choose someone who chooses you without hesitation. You'll look back, not with bitterness, but with gratitude, because a love like that doesn't really end. It stays in your bones, reshaping how you love going forward. So don't fall in love with a Libra unless you are ready to be seen clearly, loved gently, and changed permanently. Unless you're ready to be the one holding their hand while everyone else watches them glow. Unless you're ready to match the way they show up, to meet their steady giving with the same kind of weight. Because they are not a chapter, they are the turning point. Like this video, if your heart has known that kind of turning point, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to Libra Whisper for more voices that understand your quietest truths, your wildest hopes, and the balance between. Loving a Libra feels like walking barefoot across sun-warmed marble, smooth, grounding, impossibly gentle on your soul. Their presence soothes like silk against skin, or like quiet music that seems to know exactly what your spirit needs to hear. They speak not only in words, but in gestures, in unspoken reassurances, in the kind of listening that makes you feel deeply known. Being loved by them is like being mirrored back to yourself in the softest light, flaws and all, yet somehow more whole than before. Time bends differently with them. Hours vanish in conversation, and silences stretch in ways that feel tender instead of awkward. Their charm is never forced. It lingers like perfume in the air long after they've left the room, leaving everything subtly changed. Libras know how to turn everyday moments into small rituals of beauty, setting the table just so, lighting a candle before bed, remembering the stories that matter most to you. Even their absence has grace. When they pull away, it's not out of cruelty, but because they're trying not to burden anyone with their inner conflict. The way they hold you in their eyes, it's as if the whole world slows down, like they're memorizing you in a single breath. And when they laugh, truly laugh, it's a sound that lives in the corners of your memory, echoing long after the moment has passed. Their idea of love is a promise, whispered in balance, not too much, never too little, always what's fair, always what's true. To them, relationships aren't games or power struggles. They're sacred covenants made with intention and held with care. Even the way they walk beside you, measured, attentive, feels like they're aligning with your rhythm, syncing their world to yours. With Libras, the scales don't tilt unless something feels unjust. They believe in restoring harmony, not enforcing control. They read rooms the way poets read the sky, searching for signs, for tone, for every unspoken undercurrent. Sometimes you'll catch them staring into space, not lost, but weighing something only their heart understands. Their love doesn't arrive in declarations, it arrives in consistent presence, in remembering your tea order, in holding space during your silence. And when the world feels jagged and chaotic, they become the pause in your day, the breath you forgot you were holding. Loving a Libra means falling for a mosaic of quiet gestures and glittering truths, stitched together in a design only your heart can decode.